-6 degrees in Bemidji, Minnesota this morning. You heard that right. -6 degrees. That is 39 degrees below normal for this time of year. And if you think that is cold, wait until you hear what is coming next week. In the next 20 minutes, I am going to show you exactly which cities are about to experience the coldest temperatures of the winter when the next surprise snowstorm hits and why everything changes after February 7th. But first, I need you to do something right now. Drop your city and state in the comments. I am going through every single comment tonight to build tomorrow's personalized forecast update. The more specific you are with your location, the better information I can give you tomorrow morning. So pause right now and comment your city. Here is your reward for staying with me. Minneapolis, -6 this morning. International Falls, -3. Fargo, 2 degrees. Moorhead, 2 degrees. Bemidji, -6. Ithaca, New York, 3 degrees. Lake Placid, 1 degree. Burlington, Vermont, 10 degrees. And folks, this is just the beginning. Because here is what nobody is talking about. We have got another Arctic blast dropping down on top of the cold air that is already here, and it is bringing snow with it. We are looking at a geographic range that stretches from the Canadian border all the way down to the Gulf Coast. Freeze warnings are active for almost the entire Florida peninsula right now. Wind chills in the 20s as far south as the Nature Coast of Florida. This is the kind of cold that Floridians are not prepared for. We are talking about temperatures colder in parts of Florida than in Montana and Canada. Let that sink in for a moment. Miami is sitting at 51 degrees, Key West 54, but up in Pensacola it is 46 degrees, Jacksonville 47, and the freeze warnings extend from Tallahassee all the way down through Tampa, Sarasota, and into the interior. The pattern we are seeing is persistent troughing in the eastern United States. What this means in simple terms is that the jet stream has dipped way down south, creating a highway for Arctic air to flow directly from Canada into the eastern two-thirds of the country. Meanwhile, the West Coast has residual ridging, which means warmer than average temperatures from California up through Washington state. San Francisco is sitting at 62 degrees right now, Los Angeles 65, Phoenix 77. The temperature contrast across this country is absolutely remarkable. But here is what makes this different from a typical cold snap. This pattern has been locked in for weeks now, and it is about to get even more locked in over the next 7 days. The GFS model, the Global Forecast System, shows persistent flow at around 18,000 feet above our heads, bringing very cold air straight down from the Arctic. And this flow is not breaking down anytime soon. Now, let me explain the meteorology behind what we are seeing. When you have an upper-level trough this deep and this persistent, it creates a feedback loop. The cold air reinforces the trough pulls down more cold air, and the pattern becomes self-sustaining. We have seen this kind of pattern before, but what makes this one notable is the duration and the intensity. Some computer models are suggesting that we could see another potentially memorable Arctic blast around February 7th. And I will have more details on that as we get closer. But before we get to that, we have a more immediate concern. There is a sneaky snow threat developing for tomorrow and Wednesday that I think is going to catch a lot of people off guard. This is not a blizzard. This is not a major winter storm that is going to shut down interstates for days. But this is the kind of system where somebody is going to wake up Wednesday morning and say, wait, when did it snow 4 inches? Nobody told me about this. Well, I am telling you right now, starting tomorrow morning around 7 a.m. Eastern, we are going to see a decent stretch of snow developing from St. Louis, Missouri, all the way over to Pikeville, Kentucky, and up to Chicago. This might drop a skiff of snow in Indianapolis. By 3 p.m. Tuesday, this system becomes quite organized. We could have a band of heavy snow building up from Louisville, Kentucky, up to Cincinnati, and over to Charleston, West Virginia. Interstate 64 could be pretty messy during rush hour on Tuesday afternoon. Then some of that snow actually gets into the mix over in Washington, D.C., Baltimore, and up to Pittsburgh. So this is where I think we are going to have some sneaky travel problems Tuesday afternoon into Wednesday. It is going to be a quick hitting event for most people. But here is the thing about these quick hitting systems. They often overperform in isolated areas. The high-end snowfall totals could reach up to 2 inches in Evansville, Indiana, Cincinnati, Ohio, and Charleston, West Virginia. About an inch of snow potentially in Lexington, Kentucky, Louisville, Kentucky, and up toward Indianapolis. We could get a half inch or so, mostly just a coating, in Washington, D.C. But mark my words, there is going to be a random place that ends up with 4 inches of snow, and people are going to say nobody warned us about this one. Everyone was talking about that other storm last week, and now this one came out of nowhere. Well, it did not come out of nowhere. I am telling you about it right now. Let me walk you through the timing city by city, and I am going to vary my delivery here so this does not feel like a list. Chicago, you are first in line for this. Snow starts Monday evening around 7 or 8 p.m. It is going to be light at first, but by Tuesday morning, your commute could be impacted. We are talking about maybe an inch of accumulation, possibly a little more if the band sets up right over the metro area. The unique angle for Chicago is that after the initial system moves through, you could get some lake effect enhancement Tuesday night into Wednesday. That lake is still relatively warm compared to the Arctic air mass, so we could see some additional snow bands develop. St. Louis, your window opens up late Monday night and continues through Tuesday morning. This is a rush hour event for you. We are looking at maybe a ½ inch to an inch. The bigger concern for St. Louis is actually what comes after this system. More on that in a moment. Indianapolis, you are in a tricky spot with this one. You are right on the northern edge of where the heavier snow is going to set up. If that band shifts 50 miles north, you could wake up to 2 inches Tuesday morning. If it stays south, you get a dusting. This is where the forecast gets murky, and I will have better clarity tomorrow morning when the overnight model runs come in. Louisville, Kentucky, this hits you Tuesday afternoon. Snow develops around noon and becomes heavy by mid-afternoon. Your evening commute on Tuesday is going to be a problem. We are talking about 1 to 2 inches of snow falling during a 3 to 4 hour window. Roads are going to get slippery fast. If you have to be out Tuesday evening, give yourself extra time. Lexington, you are looking at similar timing to Louisville, Tuesday afternoon into Tuesday evening, about an inch of accumulation expected. The unique angle for you is that this is the kind of wet, heavy snow that sticks to trees and power lines. After the ice storm 2 weeks ago that left tens of thousands without power in Tennessee and Mississippi, any additional strain on the power grid is a concern. Cincinnati, you are in the bullseye for this one. Tuesday afternoon is when it gets going. We could see a narrow band of heavy snow set up right over the metro area between 2 p.m. and 6 p.m. Tuesday. High-end totals could reach 2 inches. Interstate 71 and Interstate 75 are both going to be impacted during the evening commute. Charleston, West Virginia, your timing is Tuesday evening into Wednesday morning. This is an overnight event for you. You might go to bed Tuesday night with rain, wake up Wednesday morning to snow. We are looking at 1 to 2 inches. The concern for Charleston is that temperatures are going to be right around freezing, so we could see some icing mixed in before it transitions to all snow. Columbus, Ohio, you get clipped by this Tuesday night, maybe a ½ inch to an inch. Nothing major for Columbus, but enough to make Wednesday morning-esque commute a little slick. Pittsburgh, here is where the track matters. If this system tracks a little further north, you could see 2 to 3 inches Tuesday night into Wednesday morning. If it tracks south, you get an inch or less. I am leaning toward the lower end right now, but this is one I am watching closely. Now let me jump to the mid-Atlantic where things get interesting. Washington, D.C., you are looking at Tuesday night into Wednesday morning, mostly just a coating to maybe a ½ inch. This is not a major snow event for the nation's capital, but any snow in D.C. tends to cause problems, so be prepared for a slow commute Wednesday morning. Baltimore, similar story to Washington, Tuesday night into Wednesday, a coating to a ½ inch. Nothing to panic about, but worth being aware of. And then we have got the extreme cold to deal with, because while we are focused on this snow system, the bigger story is the Arctic air that is already in place and the even colder air that is coming. Here is what makes the timing critical. This snow system moves through Tuesday and Wednesday. Behind it, we get a reinforcing shot of Arctic air. So not only are we dealing with snow, we are dealing with temperatures that are going to plummet Wednesday night into Thursday morning. This is when I think we see some of the coldest temperatures of the winter season across the upper Midwest and Northeast. Minneapolis, you are looking at lows Wednesday night in the negative single digits to negative teens. Fargo, you could be -10 to -15. International Falls, -15 to -20. These are the kind of temperatures where exposed skin can freeze in 10 to 15 minutes. This is dangerous cold, and it is not just the upper Midwest. We are talking about teens and 20s all the way down to the Carolinas. Raleigh, North Carolina, you could see a low around 15 degrees Thursday morning. Columbia, South Carolina, maybe 18 degrees. Atlanta, Georgia, low 20s. These are temperatures that people in the South are not used to dealing with. For those in the South who are not accustomed to extreme cold, let me give you some practical advice. Let your faucets drip Wednesday night and Thursday night. Even just a small drip can prevent pipes from freezing. Cover outdoor faucets. Bring pets inside. Make sure your heating system is working properly. Keep at least a half tank of gas in your vehicle in case you get stranded. And check on elderly neighbors. Now here is where things start to shift. After this Arctic blast around February 7th, I think we finally see some changes to this pattern. The big dip in the jet stream that has been locked over the eastern U.S. starts to propagate eastward. We begin to see a more traditional-looking jet stream pattern where we get bursts of warm air entering the central and eastern portions of the U.S., followed by bursts of cold air coming into the west. What this means is that we are going to see more up and down temperature swings rather than this prolonged deep freeze. And here's where it gets really interesting. These little dips in the jet stream that develop after the pattern breaks down are going to spark off some storms. In fact, I see a pretty significant signal for severe weather as we approach Saturday, February 14th. This is way too early for details, but it is not too early to track. I am calling this a spring storm signal to make sure everyone knows this has nothing to do with snow. We are talking about the potential for severe thunderstorms. The maybe range extends from Nashville back to Oklahoma City down into Mexico, and then from Dallas to Shreveport down to Houston. The region where we are most likely to potentially see storms is San Antonio and Austin, Texas. Now, I want to be transparent with you about this. We are talking about something that is 10 to 12 days away. A lot can change. Another snowstorm is equally as probable, but this is the first time we have seen a signal like this in quite some time, so I wanted to bring it to your attention. The Climate Prediction Center's 8 to 14 day outlook shows that warm air from the west is trying to nudge farther and farther east. We are still expected to be below average from Miami up to Quebec over the next 2 weeks, but areas from Houston to Dallas, Oklahoma City, Rapid City, and Bismarck, North Dakota are expected to be above average with temperatures. For those tens of thousands of people still without power in Tennessee and Mississippi from the ice storm that happened over 2 weeks ago, this warm-up is going to be welcomed even if it comes with the risk for some isolated thunderstorms. And this is something we are going to shift our focus to as we get closer and closer to spring. Let me give you the CPC outlook temperatures in more detail. Houston, you are looking at above average temperatures in the 8 to 14 day period. Dallas, above average. Oklahoma City, above average. But Miami, you are still below average. Jacksonville, below average. Atlanta, below average. The dividing line runs roughly along Interstate 20 from Texas through Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, and Georgia. Before I wrap up, I want to acknowledge the uncertainty in these forecasts. Weather forecasting walks a fine line between informing and sensationalizing. Track could shift 50 miles and change everything. Models will refine overnight. I will have better clarity tomorrow morning. But what I can tell you with high confidence is that we have extreme cold in place right now. We have a quick hitting snow system Tuesday into Wednesday, and we have another Arctic blast coming around February 7th. After that, the pattern starts to break down and we transition into a more active spring-like pattern. If I have succeeded today in giving you actionable information without causing panic, I appreciate your trust. Make sure you are subscribed because tomorrow's update is critical. Things could change overnight and you will want this information. I will be live by 8 a.m. Eastern tomorrow, possibly earlier if major changes develop in the overnight model runs. Here is your action timeline. If you are in the snow areas from St. Louis to Charleston, prepare by Tuesday night. If you are anywhere from the Canadian border down to the Gulf Coast, prepare for extreme cold by Wednesday night. Let faucets drip. Protect pipes. Keep extra food and water on hand. Make sure you have a way to heat your home if power goes out. And check on anyone vulnerable to cold. Drop your city one more time in the comments. Let me know where you are watching from. I am going through every comment tonight to personalize tomorrow's forecast for your area. I am not here to panic anyone. I am here to inform you. We have some significant weather coming over the next week to 10 days. Some of it is already here. Some of it is on the way. And then after February 7th, everything changes. You do not want to miss tomorrow's update when I will have refined snowfall totals, updated temperature forecasts, and the first detailed look at that potential severe weather signal for mid-February. Make sure you hit subscribe, turn on notifications, follow me on social media for rapid-fire updates throughout the day, and I will see you tomorrow morning with critical updates. Thank you for trusting me with your